This is a heat of the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup between Sydney Rowing Club in Australia and Sir William Perkins School in Chertsey in the UK.
So this is the first day of the Jubilee. This is an event which doesn't have entries to allow us to race all the way through the week. Both crews have got off very nicely, very cleanly. Not too troubled at this point by the steering. Sir William Perkins nicely correcting their line there, and now they can see behind them the posts, and that gives them the alignment to get straight for the course. On the left-hand side of our picture, Sydney just a little bit closer to the booms, but it looks like they're going to be clean there.
Yeah, both crews having to use the rudders a little bit, make some corrections in this early part of the course beside Temple Island, where there's the buoys. You see those red buoys, and then it changes to the booms. The important thing is you're in the course as you come to that main bit of the course. No, they're steering quite nicely and moving well.
We get some great racing, Greg, in the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup, an event that began in 2012 to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee, and it's neck and neck off the start. Let's see what happens as they go a little bit further down the track, and we pick them up, and they're still pretty close together.
Well, this is everything we'd expected from this event. We're expecting it to be tight. It's been a fantastic entry for it. Tough qualification just to be here racing on the Thursday at Henley, and I think the crew from Sydney just holding a small lead at this stage.
Yeah, the Sydney crew are hoping to do something special here. No overseas crew has won this event since it began in 2012, and they'll be hoping to achieve that. We've got Ella Hudson and India Thompson in the stroke and 3 seats here. They raced together at Women's Henley in a quad. Were beaten in the semis by Gloucester Rowing Club, who were the eventual winners here at the Henley Royal Regatta. So a strong pairing with some experience. 3 of the 4 won the women's under-19 quads in the 2018 National Regatta this year over in Australia. So that's a strong performance there. And that was with Neem Graham in the bow seat. Her sister was in the crew at that point. Laura, she then got selected into the Australian junior team. And so Neem's come into the boat, so keeping it in the family. And it looks like a pretty cohesive quad as I'm watching them scull, Greg. Very nice sculling there from the Sydney women.
Yeah, the crew on the right of our shot there from Sydney in that powder blue vest, moving really very smoothly as they're coming past the halfway mark. That's the Forley mark, and they're just starting to ease away. Nothing's happened dramatically, nothing's happened suddenly, which is really the way they row. It's just quiet, steady progress.
Yeah, you can see the real cohesion, very tidy blade work, very efficient pick-up of the front end of the stroke of the blades all going in together, and the legs go down together and smoothly push the boat past the oar.
Yeah, their arms look like they're really straight. There's quite a pronounced hand lift to actually cover the blades. They look like they come from a nice height, but then they get the blades locked in, quite pronounced, drop into the water and then press with the legs and open the backs.
Yeah, I agree. It's quite a dynamic-looking crew, quite a dynamic-looking pick-up, but the junior women from Sir William Perkins School in Surrey are still attacking, and they're not letting them, the Sydney women, have the race to themselves. This quad were 6th in the junior women's quad at the Sculling Head, 7th at the National Schools Regatta, so they've got some real form in racing together, and quarter-finalists at the Henley Women's Regatta. So some strength and competition behind them in the Perkins School. Looking there at the back of Ella Ayowade, 17-year-olds in the bow seat. It's her first time competing at Henley. It's the school's first time competing at Henley, and she didn't expect to be here, having taken a year out last year, but was coaxed back in and is sitting there in the bow seat setting up the William Perkins quad on the left of our picture. But it's Sydney who have the commanding position in this race, looking a little over a bit of clear water separating the 2 crews now.
We see Ella Hudson there, focused, looking straight down the stern canvas of the boat. She steers the boat, and she has complete control there over the rate, over the direction of the boat, and they've taken a nice line and just continued to make efficient, quiet progress down the course. Good progress from the crew from Sir William Perkins School. They made good progress getting a crew now racing at Henley. I know women's rowing's been growing and growing within that school, and a great program they're operating.
You can hear that we've already got crowds filling out relatively early in another absolutely packed day of racing here at Henley Regatta. The conditions pretty benign. I'd say, though, it's going to be a really warm day here. It's already pretty hot, and we're just coming up to 10 o'clock in the morning. The spectators are going to need their sunscreen, and the athletes are going to need their sunscreen, and they're going to need to conserve their energy. So if you're sitting in the Sydney crew now, I think you're in a position thinking, well, we've probably got this, but we don't want to give them any further distance. I wouldn't like, having opened up clear water, I wouldn't like to see that close again if you were sitting in the stroke seat of this boat.
Well, I'm sure the crew from Sir William Perkins will respond, will not want to let Sydney have it their own way, and the crew from Sydney are going to have to step it up in front of the enclosures here as they come down with about a minute left in the race. See Perkins written there up the back of the bow girl in that William Perkins crew, moving still smoothly, looking to step the rate on as we're on this camera position on the progress board, which marks just the last 10 or 15 strokes of the race probably for the crew now.
As I'm impressed with the performance from the Sydney quad here. The Perkins quad have got some good talent in there. Emily Keane in the stroke seat, 17 years old, medalled in a double at Munich International Regatta and representing GB, and they're delighted to be here as the first Sir William Perkins school to row at Henley, but it's not their day today. It's the Sydney Rowing Club Australia quad that approach the finish line 2 or 3 lengths up now.
I think we'll be seeing them again tomorrow, the crew from Sydney Rowing Club, more of the quiet efficiency, and I think they'll be delighted to have got a first race under their belt as we see the crew from Sir William Perkins just crossing the line now beside our commentary position, and then confirmation of that win in the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup for Sydney Rowing Club over Sir William Perkins School.